Good morning and welcome to Sunday Soul Day, weekly fuel for your mind, body, and soul. I'm excited to introduce a guest today who is from Pakistan. After a successful career in finance, Shadab felt a very strong urge to make a shift after feeling unfulfilled in many ways, which spurred her into this transformational journey of self-development that led her to become a certified mindset coach through the Jace Shetty Coaching Certification School. Today, she is helping clients break through self-limiting beliefs, conquer challenges, and embrace new possibilities. She founded Infinite Mind Academy, where she blends positive psychology, mindfulness, and coaching techniques to equip clients for success. Welcome to Sunday Soul Day, Shadab.
Thank you, Demisha. Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction. I'm excited to be here and share my experience and perspective with your audiences. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And good morning, or actually, should I say good evening, Ali, because we are in the evening to accommodate Shadab.
Good morning slash evening, Demisha and Shadab. We're so excited to have you.
Good evening, Ellie. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I'm very excited for this interview with you. As you heard Demisha earlier, we're like kids in a candy shop getting to interview you and have our show in Pakistan.
And thank you so much for having me, guys, because this is a great opportunity. And thank you so much for providing me this opportunity. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'd love to just kick it off then with your journey, because you kind of had a pivotal moment transitioning from a successful career in finance to coaching. Like, what was going on in your internal environment, and did any of your external environment play a pivotal role in this transition?
Yes, Demisha, it's a great question, and we all know what the external environment, what influences it has on our reality. But for me, more than the external environment, it was my internal world. Yes, there was the external environment, the lack of awareness of regarding this, how the mind really works, how it really shapes of your reality. But to me, I would say that the internal reasons were greater than the external reasons. Why? Because I believe that everyone who changes, transits from one phase of their life to another is only because of one reason. And that reason is when the old ways of living for them are no longer working for them. And that's what really happened to me because at that time I had a promising career, lovely family, apparently all the luxuries of life. I have got every luxury of life, but something was deep down, something was extremely missing. I was having that feeling that something was wrong because I wasn't really connected to myself. I was struggling finding myself in the process, and I wasn't fulfilled. And I wanted to know why I wasn't fulfilled. Is it just because the external environment that, or it is something internally that was taking place inside me? And as a child, I was always been, I have always been a curious child. I was always been intrigued by how the mind works, how it really shapes our reality. I wanted to know why I do what I do, why people do what they do, why certain patterns are repeating in my life and in the lives of other people. Now, that is a big thing because I have always been a very keen observer since my childhood. And I used to observe patterns in my own life and in the lives of other people. I didn't know any answer to that, but I was just observing. For instance, a person getting out of one abusive relationship to enter into another, one toxic job environment to enter into another, richer getting richer, poor getting poorer. What's really happening behind the scene? If somebody has got the talent, has got the merit, degrees, everything, but they are unemployed for years, struggling in their career, and even if they manage to get a reasonable job, but sooner or later they lose that job. Can you see the patterns over here? Something is really happening over here. And I was asking these questions to myself, what's really happening? As if life is trying to teach us something. But what? Why? And the most important question, how to recognize these patterns and change them? And then I see that something happens, just like a snap, something happens and everything changes for good. The person who have been into a series of abusive relationships has finally landed into a beautiful marriage. A person who have been struggling in his career has got a stroke of luck. What has really happened? We don't know. But experience have taught me. At that time, I really didn't know. Over the years now, I have learned. Um, I can say that there are two reasons behind these patterns. And the reasons are the conscious decision, and the other one is surrendering. Have you ever come across the point in your life, Demisha or Ali, that uh, you said to yourself, enough is enough. I now I have to take the charge of my life, and I'll change everything for myself. In that moment, the amplitude of your decision was so high that you left behind everything that was holding you back.
That's so beautifully said. And I think both Ali and I have both experienced that. I'm curious to know, like, what was it that you felt, just so we can like kind of identify that for our audience, so they can, if they're also feeling that way, then they know, okay, I'm in need of a transition. I'm in need of a change. Like, what exactly were you feeling like when you finally made the decision?
Okay, I was feeling, as I said, that I was feeling unfulfilled. I wasn't happy. As I said, apparently I have got every luxury of my life, career, lovely family, support system, money, everything. But something was really missing. Because that time I didn't know, but now I know, because I was coming from the mindset or the mentality of not being enough. Whatever I do, I was not appreciating myself. Whatever, it was not enough for me. I was always in a head doing more. I was coming from I need to give more and, be a perfectionist. And it wasn't really making me happy. No matter how many achievements I have got, how many blessings I have got in my life, I wasn't really focusing on them. I was just focusing on I wasn't enough. And why I was not enough, it was definitely, you mentioned external environment. Now the external environment was reflecting mine in reality. It was when I was saying that I am not enough, or that was reflecting in different aspects of my life. Even though the career was good, but somehow I wasn't really appreciating myself for that career. I wasn't really appreciating myself for the blessing that I have already had in my life. So what I was seeing, what was buried inside me, it was just a lens through which I was viewing everything. And yes, the external environment, gave it back to me in the form that made me think that something is really wrong over here. I need to work it. I need to work it out. I need to see. And it was not only because that I felt something. I was asking these questions on a constant basis. What is wrong? Why people do why they do? If I am, I'm so perfect, I am doing everything that I could do, why these people are acting in a manner they were doing, and why I'm acting in that manner, why I'm not appreciating myself, why I'm thinking that I'm not enough. These were the things that really made me question my own existence, or I would say my own life, I would say, because it wasn't really. And and I didn't even know that I am going somewhere to find those answers. It's just that I started finding those answers after many years. I had a realization that I have found the answer that I have always been seeking. And it was those patterns that I have always been observing, why certain things are really no matter where I go, no matter how much I do, there was something, and in that moment I realized that, yeah, there is a need, and everything changed for me in that moment. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I wanted to get to like, what you were feeling. And I love that you really were tapped in to understand that you felt like you weren't enough. And I know so many people feel that way. I know I've felt that way at one point in my life, and I'm like, am I doing enough? And so what do? You end up doing more. And then you're start leaning in towards resentment, and you start feeling like, I'm doing all these things, but yet I'm still not where I want to be, or even who I want to be. And for me, it's like, I just always wanted to live authentically, and live in a way that really, not just allowed, me to show up as my best self, but really like for my higher power, who I call God, to really, understand what he wanted from me as well. So I love that you asked yourself those questions and transitioning into coaching. It's quite a journey, isn't it? So I'm really
Yeah, it is. And I'm still in finance career. I'm still a head of finance in a reputed organization. It's just that I did that thing that was extremely needed for myself to find myself. I needed to know the answers, and now I know the answers. So I'm grateful that I did that.
Shadab, I'm glad that you touched on the idea of perfectionism because so many of my clients, friends, family, myself included, believed perfectionism was something that's a good thing, that we want to strive towards perfectionism. And when you said you're chasing something, it's like you're living for the external, only to come to realize that you had it all along and that it was to look inside yourself or the internal for self-love, self-trust, self-worth, your purpose. And that's what you were able to find. And people need to hear that. People pride themselves so much on being busy and trying to get it perfect. And then we end up feeling like this bottomless pit or chasing something we can never achieve. So I hope
Yeah,
that you
and
gathered that.
yeah, and I always believe that why we are doing this thing, because there is a need for validation. When there is a void inside of us, then we seek validation from the external environment. And then how we do it, there are different types of strategies that we, adopt. Perfectionism is one of them, that we will do our best, we'll give our best, we'll be perfect, and then we'll get validation. And then the void that is inside of us will be filled. And that's how we do.
So you earned your certification through the Jace Shetty coaching certification school. How did you come across this certification school and what made you sign up?
Okay, now that's a wonderful question. Now, one day I was sitting on my meditation mat and with my eyes closed, and in that moment, I had an epiphanic moment, I would say, that I had a realization that I must help people with the knowledge or the wisdom that I have acquired over the years. At that time, I didn't know how. And I wasn't rushing the process. I trusted the process. I knew that the how will reveal itself to me. Later, I realized that coaching could be the medium to that. So I started browsing for, appropriate coaching courses for myself. But nothing really resonated with my own values. I'm not saying that they were bad courses, they were amazing courses, but nothing really clicked with me. I was looking something specifically that resonates with my own value so in that moment I surrendered that control. And the moment I surrendered, I still remember this opportunity landed on my lap like a magic. And I still remember I was in UK, it was one snowing evening, and I was relaxing by myself, scrolling down my social media account, and there you go. The ad from the Jace Shetty coaching certification is school. And that moment, I knew that it is the answers to my prayers, because this was something that totally resonated with my own values. So of course I had to say yes to it, because it was coming from my heart, from my soul, that yes. And I immediately signed up for an enrollment call. And rest is history. I'm a proud mindset coach now.
Isn't it amazing how things show up when they're supposed to? That opportunity meets preparation. And I love that you said, I must help people with the knowledge that I've acquired and kind of giving back what you've been given. So can you share more about the specific moment when you realized your niche and true calling was to empower people to regain control of their minds?
Mm, I would say that, as I said, that I have always been a curious child who really wanted to know the nature of reality and the mind, how it really dictates our reality. So I didn't know that one day I would be pursuing my career out of it. I was just doing for myself, for my own reasons, to connect to myself. And then when embarked on this journey in 2015, I did it for my own reasons. I tried, countless methods to know how the mind really works. Later, during that journey, as I said, that I had a realization that now I'm at a place where I have tried countless methods, and at the initial phase of my journey, I failed. I had little or no success. But once I started seeing the results, I began to see the results. In that moment, with those results, a strong desire was born to help people. Okay, how will I help people? I don't know. Uh, okay, fine. If you do not know, if this is my purpose, if this is my calling, then it will find me. It will find me, and the right thing will appear in front of me. But one thing was sure. Up till now, one thing was sure, that whatever I'll be doing something related to the mind, because this is my expertise now, I would say. Over the years, and I'm not saying that I'm coming from this scientific background or something like that. It's just that these are my own experience of a common individual, a common man or woman who have been through something, or, finding the ways and all. So when I signed up for Jace Shetty coaching certification in school, and it was day first, and I knew that my niche would be mindset. I will be empowering people through this thing, because that's how I have empowered myself. Once I was at that place, I empowered myself. Now it's the time to empower people. That's how I realized that it is my calling, and yes, my purpose found me.
That's so great. I love that. And I'm so curious about the mind as well. And it's just it's so interesting. Like, you bring up patterns, and that's exactly what drew me to the field of psychology. Is I love patterns. I love patterns in people, and I can totally relate to what you're talking about. So great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I too can relate. I'm a, mindset coach as well. And we bond together. And, when I came across your content, I was very excited about your content because we both share a very similar passion. Like my passion comes, from not just the patterns, but also just the stories that people tell themselves, and how they, hold those stories for true, and allows them to develop those limiting beliefs, whether it's their own voice or outside voices, or maybe parental voices, that they then develop this kind of persona that, stops them from just being their best version of themselves. And so that was a large part of my why. So I love that, your first why is just helping people and just sharing your gifts, because I do believe that's what we're supposed to do. We're all, filled with many gifts, and we're really supposed to share them with each other. It's why we started Sunday Soul Day, So I wanted to kind of shift to the Infinite Mind Academy. What inspired you to establish the Infinite Mind Academy, and how has its 3M's foundational principles contributed to your mission in empowering individuals through mindset and personal development coaching?
Well, that is a great question. And for those who do not know about Infinite Mind Academy, it is an academy that I have recently founded to help people regain the control of their mind by challenging and altering their own subconscious mind programming to achieve success and fulfillment in different aspects of their life. And the 3M's, or the pillars of Infinite Mind Academy, are mindset, mindfulness, and meditation. During the initial phase of my own journey, as I said, that I have tried countless methods, I had little or no success. And once I begin seeing the result, one day I was sitting with my sister, and I randomly mentioned to her, I want to open an academy, a mind academy, to teach people that, how the mind really works, how it really creates our reality. Because what I was seeing, particularly in my own country, there was little or no awareness about this particular topic, how the mind really affects your reality. And that's what I have gained over the years, this knowledge I gained over the years, that I wanted to share it with the world now. So in that moment, that vision was born. It was just a random discussion, but the vision was born already. And and yeah, I would say that why meditation, mindfulness, what meditation, mindfulness, and mindset has really played a role in my own journey. And yeah, in the words of Tony Robbins, success in life is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. And I would say, Damisha and Ali, that mindset it is the single most important factor that is influencing person's success, be it personal or professional. What a person constantly thinks about, believes in, or the meanings that are they are assigning to anything has a direct impact on the choices they are making, the decisions they are taking, and ultimately the result. So getting this fundamental aspect is right is very crucial. You need to work on that. And experience have taught me that the mindfulness and meditation are the perfect tool to do that. People think, and I have seen that that we believe no, most of the people believe that meditation is something that is not for them, that is solely reserved for the people, for the monks sitting in the Himalayan mountain monasteries and meditating. I would say that meditation is for everyone who wants to reconnect with themselves. I would define meditation as a meeting with your inner being. When you are sitting on that meditation mat with your eyes closed, you get to watch the movie of your life. Meditation is not about stopping the thoughts or not having them all together. It's about let your thoughts come, let them go, and watch the entire movie of your life. Watch the quality of your thought. What is the quality of your thought? What are the stories that that are replaying in your head? Because your life is some of the stories that you are telling yourself. So you need to be very conscious that what stories you are telling yourself, because those stories will manifest themselves in your life. You need to know what are your deepest fear, your limiting beliefs. So that is why, and that is why when I talk about the subconscious mind programming, with my own experience, I would say that meditation is a perfect tool to find out what is really buried behind your subconscious mind, behind your conscious awareness. And mindfulness, we have been taught since years that, okay, be mindful of the present moment, concentrate, focus, you have to be mindful. But nobody has really taught us how to be mindful, how to be really mindful of this entire thing. These are great advices, I would say, but when I uh, started following those advices, I terribly failed in that, because I was trying to focus on this present moment. For years, I trained my mind to be distracted. And all of a sudden, I wanted to be mindful of this present moment of the task in hand. It doesn't work like that. So I tried something different. What I did, I focused just on the meditation. It was my first day of meditation. What I did, I allowed myself, okay, just 1 minute. You have to meditate for just 1 minute. But in that moment, I made a deal to myself. In that moment, I'll be extremely mindful. And that's how I trained my mind to be mindful. And after 10 or 11 months of that moment, I realized that I have started being mindful behind my conscious awareness, and I'm mindful throughout my day. It was just my meditation practice, because by meditating, I gave a sample, I gave a taste to my mind, how it feels, how it looks like to be mindful, how to be mindful. And that's how I was taking those consistent actions. And and that's how I do it with my clients.
Thank you so much for sharing. I love your 3 M's, and they're game changers in both me and Ali's life. And I love that it's so beautiful when you said your movie of your life. Like, I'm gonna have to steal that little nugget, because that's really what it is. It's, between the stories that we hear, the stories that we tell ourselves, that we believe and hold true, and also just all of the thoughts. Like, you think about the mind, we have like anywhere between 50 and 60,000 thoughts a day. Most of them are negative, and so, like, really what I love about your academy is you're helping people to retrain their mind in a healthy way, and that's a large part of how I coach. It's like really giving people a whole new set of tools that they didn't have before, so then they can understand who they are, like pull themselves away from all the extractions, like all the external things that, all these, major companies are wanting to do to distract us, from social media to, like, shopping and online, all this stuff, like those are all distractions from ourselves, and so really, what I love about meditation, practicing mindfulness on a regular basis, and just understanding your mindset, going from a kind of fixed mindset to a growth mindset, is really getting the opportunity to look at your inner mirror, and really understand yourself deeper. And that's really what it's all about. Like, everything starts and ends with us, everything.
Yeah.
So until we understand ourselves better, love ourselves more, like, we can't fully show up for others in the way that, that we want to a lot of times, So thank you so much for sharing that. It's the perfect, segue to the next question, which is you focus on helping clients kind of rewire their subconscious mind programming. Could you elaborate on this a little bit more? Like, and how does it contribute to resilience, confidence, and overall success?
Mm-hmm. I would say that I believe that every challenges a person faces in their life has something to do with their subconscious mind programming, or maybe it is the entire byproduct of their subconscious mind programming. In the words, according to Dr. George Dispenza, 95% of who we are by the age 35 is programmed. In fact, I would use his quote. I would quote his exact words that 95% of who we are by the time we are 35 years old is the memorized set of behaviors, emotional reactions, unconscious habits, hardwired attitude, beliefs, and perceptions that exactly works like a computer program. And unfortunately, we do not even know that. We do not even know what is really buried behind our subconscious mind that is driving the vehicle of our life. The lack of awareness, our limiting beliefs, the deepest fears, and our inner critique, the stories that we are telling ourselves, compound this. So I would say there is a need to create awareness regarding it, that how it is really shaping our reality. Okay. And meditation, mindfulness, journaling, reflection could be the greatest tool to raise awareness. And I even tell people that if you are not comfortable doing it alone, then seek help from the coach. And once you have raised that awareness, then you can always ask. Now the programming is in front of you. Those stories, those limiting beliefs are in front of you. Ask yourself, question those programming. If you believe that I am not enough, why you are not enough? Things never work out for me. Why things never work out for me? I'm not successful. I'm always rejected. Why I'm always rejected? These are the kind of questions you need to ask yourself, because question indicates uncertainty. And when you started questioning your own beliefs, your own paradigms, stories, and all, now you are not certain of them. Now they are no longer the program. Now you have the power to change them. And no matter how powerful our subconscious mind is, our conscious mind has one unique ability, the ability to accept or reject the idea. So if when the limiting ideas are being presented to you, then I would suggest that simply reject those ideas by questioning their authenticity. And I would say that it won't be easy. It seems easy, the entire process seems simple, but it won't be really easy for you, because you are battling the 95% of your subconscious mind, the programming that has been hardwired inside you. And getting out of the comfort zone has never been easy for anyone, you know, because comfort zone is familiar. It is not only comfortable, it is familiar, and our mind loves familiarity. So no matter how much you try to, get out of your comfort zone, your mind will bring you back to that comfort zone. So you need to make a committed decision that no matter what, no matter how hard it will be, I have to make this change. I have to take this journey, because once you'll decide that, and once you'll make a different choice, what you're really telling yourself, you're training your mind to be resilient. Okay, it is hard. Yes, I know. I might go back to what I know. Yes, I know. But I will keep on working on it. And that's how you train your mind to be resilient. And once you, you know, you are making, when once you make a different choice, then you will get the different results. And when you get the different results, and if the results, especially if the results are tangible, that has really manifested in your physical reality, our mind loves physical evidence. Now you have given your mind evidence that you can do it. And that's how you build confidence.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And it's so true. Like, and even when you make the decision and you go through the journey, your mind will still pull you back. You'll still get triggered, or something will occur that will pull you back. But the beautiful thing, and I was just having this conversation with Ali, it's like, it's such a beautiful gift when you have those moments of transition, throughout your life, where you want to make a change and where you want to do better and want to learn more about yourself. It's a gift. And so, like, it's not going to always come perfectly wrapped in a bow. And so it is a lot of work. And that's where the resilience comes in, like you said, and really the confidence comes in doing and getting those reps in over and over and over. You talked about starting with 1 minute, like meditating for 1 minute. And then I'm sure now you're meditating, you can meditate for a lot longer now, but it's like, that's where the confidence building comes in. It comes in doing and really exercising that muscle. So love that you mentioned that. And the last point I'll just mention is just around the growth of it all, like when you go through any sort of transitional, journey, it's such a beautiful growth opportunity to learn more, to, try new things, and to really put new tools on your tool belt that you didn't have before. So thank you so much for sharing.
And I would also like to add one more thing for our audience, is that now I can easily meditate for about 2 hours. It was consistent efforts, it's been more than 6 years. There hasn't been a single day when I didn't meditate. And now I can easily meditate for, like, I started this journey with 1 minute, 2 hours, not a single day when I missed that meditation. Why? Because consistent efforts, consistency has always been my strength. If I wouldn't have been taking those small consistent actions, I wouldn't have been over here. So yes.
Yeah, and practice makes progress, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So what's something that causes you feelings of anxiety, anger, or sadness today? And how do you apply your mindset shift tools to help with these feelings when they arise?
Honestly, I really get depressed or anxious or sad, angry. And whenever I do, I let myself process those emotions. And what I have realized, that whenever I do get angry, anxious, or sad, or feel any kind of negative emotion, it is only because of one reason. And that is when I am more focused on the blueprint that is in my head, when I am expecting certain things to happen in a certain manner, and when they do not, you know, that is when I started feeling anxious. That is when I started feeling sad or angry. So, what I do in that moment, I allow myself to feel those emotions. I never suppress my emotions, because if you are in a habit of suppressing your emotions, sooner or later those emotions will haunt you down. They'll haunt you like anything. So I always make sure that I'm processing those emotions, and then I question those emotions or myself, that why I'm feeling that way, why I'm feeling angry. Okay. And most of the time the answer is because I had a blueprint in my mind, I had certain expectations, and because of that it didn't match my reality. And when it didn't match my reality, now because of that I'm feeling that way. So that's how I do it. And I apply 3-step formula that is for myself. I need to feel those emotions, what I'm feeling. Okay. And after questioning, I let them go. And then I shift my focus from the unwanted to the wanted. From let's say I practice gratitude, I focus on what I have already achieved in my life, how far I have already come. Because these thoughts will be there. I'm not saying that once you'll work on your subconscious mind programming, you won't feel sad, you won't have negative thoughts. It's just that your refractory period should be very short. And that's what I do with myself. And now by applying this formula, I literally shift my focus from the negative to the positive, from what is missing to what is already there. And that's how I've trained my mind, shift from the negative to the positive. And yeah.
I love that. And I love that you touched on managing or letting go of expectations. We talk about reality versus blueprint all the time in my sessions, and letting go of our expectations. I think that's part of that mindfulness practice and part of that shift.
Yes, because
Wow. Go ahead.
can I add one more thing? Because when we are expecting something, we are not appreciating what we are already having in our life. We are just resisting what is. Our reality, we are resisting what is, and we are having, our head
Yeah.
towards, focusing on. So the thing that has not really manifested in your life, we are wasting these precious moments of life, and we are literally resisting this reality. That's why blueprint is, I would say, let go of the blueprint, let go of the expectations.
No, I think that that's such a good reminder there to let go. Could you please recount a success story from your clients illustrating the positive transformation brought about by your assistants in shifting their mindset?
Sure. And I would like to share two stories because they are really close to my heart. One was about a girl who came to me, and she was having an issue that she lacked confidence. And later we dug deeper, and she realized that it wasn't confidence, it was her fear of public speaking. And it was my second session with her, and she shared, and she didn't even had awareness of that. She realized that she was a very confident child, and she was just 5 years old, and it was her annual day in her school, and she was giving a speech, annual speech, in front of the entire school, and she said something wrong, and her principal scolded her, insulted her, and punished her in front of the entire school. And that's why after that, she never dared speaking in public, because when she was saying that it's extremely hard for me to say anything in the classroom. And now we know the reason behind that, because she fears that if she'll say something wrong, then she'll be punished for that. And once she realized that, I'm so proud of her now, because after that, she literally made conscious efforts to put herself out there to speak. And now she is making public appearances. And that is a big thing to her. She often messages me, and she thanked me for that. And I said, no, it wasn't me. It was you. It was you who realized. It was you who made that committed decision. And it was you who is making different choices now. So that is the story that is really close to my heart. Another story that I would like to share, it is the story of of a woman who is around 50 years old, I would say. And she came to me with a very minor issue. I would say she was very reluctant. She wanted to be coach, and she do not wanted to be coach. So she was coming up with many minor issues. But later she ended up sharing it with me that she has a lot of anger and resentment towards her mother, because she always believed that her mother never loved her. Okay. And it's been 40 years now that she has been carrying the burden of this resentment and anger for her mother. And that moment, I still remember that one question that really changed her perspective. I was sitting with her, and she was coming from a victim mentality and telling me that I'm a mother. I would never do this to my child. And I just asked one question. Is she you? Maybe she has her own reasons for doing that. Maybe as a child, you interpreted the entire thing in a very different manner because of the emotions. Because a child is not operating from a conscious mind. A child, a 3 or 4 year child, is purely operating from a subconscious mind and is purely operating from the emotions. You feel it in certain manner. So that's how. And later, after our coaching journey ended, she messaged me and she said that as a result of this coaching journey, she'd not only healed this relationship with her mother and let go of the 40 years of resentment, which is a huge thing, 40 years of resentment and anger. And she met her mother, and she shared it with me that this time the entire equation was different. There was no resentment, no anger. And that was big. And this specific case was really challenging for me. Why? Because she was a therapist. She was herself a therapist. She was practicing it for more than 15 years, much older than me, very bold and assertive woman. So she was really giving me a hard time, you know. But I love that I'm proud of myself and her as well, that she gave me that opportunity to help her. And when she gave me that opportunity, now I'm happy that I have made, even if it's a small difference, I have made a positive difference in her life.
Yeah. And you know what? Like you nailed it. I think being a therapist myself, I'm so good at helping other people, but then to be helped myself is such a challenge. And, we kind of jokingly talk in our world about we need to go to certain people who are going to call us out because, we know all the tricks. And so I can so get, what depths you had to go to in supporting this individual. Right on. That's awesome.
Yeah, so well said, Ellie. And I love that you really gave her a different story, and really what coaching does and therapy as well is it gives people a whole new set of lens to look through, or glasses, that the stories, again, going back to the stories that they created for her for 40 years, she's been telling herself this story, probably not even having a conversation with her mother, not even addressing the elephant in the room, but just believing the story and holding it truth, which is just does such a disservice, and so I love that you created that for her and really allowed her to just look through a completely different lens. So love those two stories you shared. In one of your videos, I just had to mention this. You shared, if it's meant to be, God will make it happen in his perfect timing. Either this will be yours or something better will be. Can you share more about this idea with our audience and how you help yourself and others live by this concept?
Mm-hmm. Uh, this is something that is really close to my heart. It is one of my favorite, and I believe that there is a divine plan and there is our plan. And when our plan is in contradiction with the divine plan, it is when we struggle. It is when we, no matter how much hard work we are putting in, we fail. So our plan needs to be in alignment with the divine plan. We all have got dreams, right? And these dreams are given to us for a reason. And the reason that I believe that the purpose of these dreams is to make you the greatest version of yourself. And unless you become that greatest version of yourself, you won't be able to manifest your dreams. Because if you would have been given then those choices, that choice, then you will manifest your dream instantly. You won't even wait for a single moment. You want these dreams to, to manifest in your reality right now. But God doesn't work like that. He has his perfect timings, and the perfect time is for your own good. Even if let's say if you are able to manifest that reality, if you haven't become that version of yourself that is required to not only achieve but live that dream, and if you are able to achieve that dream, you won't be able to live it. Sooner or later you'll lose that dream. So first you need to become that version. You need to work on yourself. You need to become that version. And once you're ready, you need to be ready. We think that we are ready. We are always ready, but we are not ready. That is why there comes in the divine timing, because the divine timing is more than perfect. When it will happen, it will be so perfect and so effortless. And I have seen with my own experience, I've seen in my life that there were certain things that I really, really wanted in my life. I was exerting pressure, nothing really happened. And when I let them go, it happened in such a magical or effortless manner that I do not even have words to describe that. That's how the divine works. That's how, and there is always a perfect timing for that. And if something that you really want is not happening for you, then that means it's not maybe good for you. You think that it is good for you, and the better will come for you. And I have a strong belief in that. I have a strong belief in the divine timing. That's how I operate in my life.
Yeah, such a beautiful explanation. Thank you.
I love that. I love that. And it's so profound, and it's how I live as well. It's like it's really about having faith, and trust in, the divine, your higher power, and for me, my higher power is God. And so I really trust in what he has for me. And a lot of times I have gone against that because I've tried to force things, right? And instead of really surrendering and trying to control, and that's where the resistance comes in. And so when you're living by God's will, or doing God's work, or doing what he's called you to do, or your higher power, divine source, whatever you want to call, it's a different feeling, and for me it's the inner guidance, that I allow myself to just trust the process, really have faith, and lean into hope. So I love that you shared that.
Yeah, and to piggyback on what Demisha said and what you were saying, Shadab, is just the idea of surrendering control and knowing that if it's not working out, God has something better in store for us. That is such a beautiful promise, right?
Yeah.
So here at Sunday Soul Day, we ask our guests the same question, and we would love to talk about what you do on Sundays, like what rituals you do on Sundays, or what regular self-care routines that you do to ground yourself and fuel yourself for the week ahead.
I would like to share my daily routine with you, and that is I normally start my day around 5 a.m. in the morning, and then I start it with gratitude and surrendering. Now, when focused on something that is focused on my blessings, focus that is how, that is really working for me, and then I surrender. Now I am in a perfect state of flow, and then I meditate. It gives me so much satisfaction to meditate after surrendering, because now I'm already in a perfect state of flow. And now these three are the non-negotiable tasks of my day. I cannot say no to them. I have to do it. Practice gratitude, surrendering, and meditating. Now this is the fuel for my soul. I have to do it. No, no, not negotiable at all. And then later in the day, I work out for 45 minutes. While working out, I listen to the podcast, interviews, I read books, even if it's just a one page. I read book, because that's the knowledge that I'm given to my head, right? I'm consuming the knowledge that has been given in that book. So that's how I do it. And later, in evening, I go out for walk in nature, because when I go out, that's how I unwind my day. I go out in nature. I just observe the nature, how beautiful it is, because I'm very close to the nature. And that 30 to 40 minutes is the perfect time for me to practice mindfulness, because now I'm observing nature, I'm observing the breeze, I'm observing people talking to each other. That's how I practice mindfulness on a daily basis. So these are some of the talks that I have incorporated into my daily routine. And I'm not even sure when I started it. Now it's second nature to me.
Got to start getting up earlier. I'm reading this book right now, A Beautiful Morning, and all these successful people get up at 4 or 5 in the morning and they go outside in nature and they walk. So you guys are all doing something right. I think I might need to get up a little earlier.
There is magic in the morning, I would say. If you tend to start your day in the early morning, things started happening for you like this. I have seen that. And when I'm not waking up early in the morning, uh, I always wake up early in the morning, but there are certain times, because of the pressure or something like that, I go to the bed again. But I make sure that I have to wake up at 5 a.m. That's how I do.
Wow. Have you always been a morning person, like even before going on this journey?
Not Not really, but I would say that there is a ritual, that is a prayer, religious prayer that we offer at, before the dawn. So that's I have been doing since a childhood. So I have to wake up around that time, no matter what. So
Wow.
because of that prayer ritual that I have been following since my childhood, I have to wake up. So that's a second nature to me, I would say.
Hmm, interesting. Well, you mentioned podcasts and listening to those while you're working out, and books. Do you have recommendations for our audience, like on any podcasts that you find valuable, or any books that you've read recently, or even throughout your journey that really helped you?
There are many, I would say, and one of them is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Love that book. And the other one is Awakening the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Another great book. So these are the books that are amazing, must read. And the podcast you talked about, well, I listened to different podcasts. On Purpose by Jace Shetty, The School of Greatness by Lewis Howes, and The Impact Theory by Tom Bilyeu. And now I have added another one, Sunday Soul Day by the Misha and Ali. Yeah, you guys are doing a fantastic job, I would say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you so much for that shout out. I love that. And those are incredible podcasts that you mentioned, as well as I haven't read the first book, but love Tony Robbins and everything that he's built over all the years. I mean, he really pioneered a lot of this, so shout out to Tony Robbins. We'd love to interview you one day.
Yeah. And thank you for the
And you what?
for our
And
podcast.
you know what? Yeah, you're welcome. And you know what? I was one day I was watching one of his seminar or something like that on YouTube. And uh, in that moment, I said, I want to do something like him. That was the moment. That was the moment that I knew that coaching could be something related to my journey. Yeah. So I'm glad that we mentioned him. Yeah.
That's so interesting because when I was watching his documentary on his relationship with his mom and how he does what he does in spite of her and that relationship rather than being a victim of his circumstance, I was really inspired to continue on my journey as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? Do you have any goals that you want to share or projects that you're working on?
Mhm. As I said that I have recently founded Infinite Mind Academy. So I'm entirely focusing on growing it. What I'm really doing right now is just I'm reaching out to the educational institutions or the corporate world because I believe, as I said, that there is little or no awareness in Pakistan regarding these things, right? So I want to raise awareness first through my medium, through my coaching academy, right? And that's what I'm focusing on right now. I've already reached out to a couple of institutions, educational institutions, and waiting on their replies. So yeah, that's what I'm currently focusing on.
That's amazing. We're excited for you and for your future endeavors.
Thank you.
So
Thank
where
you.
can our audience find you?
Mm-hmm. On my website, www.infinitemindatacademy.co. Another could be my social media accounts, Infinite Mind _ Academy, that is my Instagram handle, and Facebook Infinite Mind Academy, and LinkedIn account, that is Shadab Mughal. So these are my social media handles and my website.
Thank you so much, Shadab. This has been an incredible interview. I can talk with you about the mind all day long. So let's stay in touch and thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you so much to you, both of you, because it has been incredible opportunity that you have provided me. And yes, I loved talking to you. It was an amazing experience for me as well. I enjoyed it. In fact, I wasn't nervous at all because you made me feel really safe. I wasn't, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. And thank you for saying yes when we connected. And it's been such a beautiful conversation. And I swear, every time I have a guest on, I learn something new or am able to extract some amazing gem. And you just left our audience with so many today. So we are so grateful that you bless Sunday Soul Day. God bless you and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everyone, have a beautiful Sunday. For us, it's the evening, but have a beautiful Sunday. Bye.
Bye. Beautiful Sunday, everyone.